Hello, Brickman here. Today I'm counting down the top 10 likely Marvel's Infinity Saga sets that we might be getting in 2022. Essentially, this year, 2021, LEGO released a line of sets under the name of Marvel the Infinity Saga, as opposed to their usual Marvel Superheroes line. The concept of this theme was to go back and revisit some of Marvel's older films and create sets based around those. This kind of concept is actually pretty exciting, and I think a lot of people are pretty invested in it. And so maybe we might get a wave 2. And if we get a wave 2, what are the types of sets that we might see? That's what this video is about. So I'm going to count down a total of 10. Certainly I wouldn't expect a full wave of 10, but these are just in general some sets that we might be able to see. And personally, some things that I want to see. Starting off the list at number 1, we're going to go and revisit Iron Man 2. This list is in no particular order, by the way, but we have the Whiplash race car scene. I think this is very wanted by many people, especially because this scene just fits so perfectly into LEGO and a typical styled LEGO set. Essentially, you could have Tony Stark's race car when he's on the racetrack, and some sort of feature of it splitting in half when Whiplash, of course, assaults it. This would be the first ever physical figure we could get of Whiplash, and then we could also get Tony Stark in a racing suit, and also his suit that he suits up into, his Iron Man suit that is, and then maybe if they were extra generous, we could even get another Pepper Potts. But yeah, general like $30 set maybe. Number 2 is a set that I have wanted for like forever, ever since 2012, the Avengers Leviathan, or the Chitauri worm thing, you know? Yeah, now originally I always envisioned LEGO making some like huge scaled UCS Leviathan set, which that would also be pretty cool, but also I sort of now realize that it even could be scaled down and work pretty well as a normal sized set, like somewhere in the $80 price range, still pretty big, but like, you know, nonetheless, it would be pretty cool, straight out of the original 2012 Avengers film. You'd have a bunch of Chitauri soldiers and, like Thor or Hulk or whoever characters from the Avengers you'd want. And they'd have some pretty cool updated 2012 Avengers suits as well. Imagine that. Number 3, we're going to revisit Captain America, the First Avenger, Red Skull's car. So this is a pretty neat looking car that actually was pretty prominent in the film, somewhat speaking. I'm going with this as opposed to like that huge Hydra ship or maybe the Hydra train, any of those other much larger scaled vehicles, because I feel like those would be a little too large for LEGO to really cash in on. And if anything, their audience is more likely to purchase a cheaper set like this, which would be around $20 or $30. Could have a nice car you could fit in First Avenger, Captain America, Peggy Carter, and an updated Red Skull. At number 4, we're revisiting the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. We have the Kiln Prison Escape. This would be a generally larger playset, and it's a playset mixed with vehicles as well, because there's so many play features that you could fit into this, including knocking out the top of that watchtower to make that into a flying vehicle, as they basically make it into. I've seen a few mocks that covers this scene, and yeah, there's definitely a lot that you could pack into the set. And you could get some of, if not all of the Guardians in their prison suits. Definitely a generally fun set that we could get there. Number 5, we're going to the second Guardians of the Galaxy film, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. For this spot, I chose Ego's ship. Notice how we actually never got an Ego minifigure. This would be a perfect spot to fit him into. And his ship design is pretty interesting. It's a nice, unique, nice looking design that would, I think, look pretty cool in LEGO if they were to do it. Not only could you get Ego, but you could also get Mantis and any of the Guardians, like most likely Star-Lord. And the scale of this wouldn't even have to be too big either. Maybe like $30, maximum of $40. Number 6, we're going to a less popular film, but one that I've seen a lot of people request, which is why I'm including it in the list. Hulk versus Abomination. So essentially, out of the Incredible Hulk and the end final act, you have Hulk fighting the Abomination, 2 big figs right there. We've never gotten Abomination, so perfect opportunity for another brand new minifigure. And we could get like an OG Hulk minifigure and throw in other figures like General Ross and Betty. That's a ton of unique figures in general. And as for the actual builds, you could make like some destruction builds, around the area. You could have some cars that they throw at each other, general things to represent the scene. There's definitely potential there. Personally, I don't see it as super likely for LEGO to do it, but again, people seem to request it. At number 7, we're going to the first Thor film, or really any Thor film, because This is an Asgard set. I would never expect LEGO to make some huge scaled like D2C Asgard set. While that design I feel could look pretty spectacular, I just don't think that they would expect it to sell too well. Which is why I also think that any smaller scaled playset could actually work better. And by the number of rooms that we could include, they could focus on, say, the throne room. That's an iconic location out of Asgard. But in my opinion, even better, maybe the Bifrost. You get some version of Thor. You could get Heimdall. And if this was based on like the first Thor movie, you'd have Loki for him to fight. But also think of all the Asgard figures that we just don't have. I'm talking like Odin, his wife, and then like any of the Warrior 3 and Sif. Yeah, there's a lot of Asgardian characters that we have yet to receive. Which, yes, they would definitely fit in some huge scale D2C Asgard set. So still, leave that up in the air. Why not? At number 8, I have another Thor set, a Dark Elf ship. This would be, probably around Thor the Dark World. And for this, we could get the Dark World variant of Thor. Maybe we could get the Dark World variant of Jane Foster as well. She's missing. And, well, what do you know? We don't have the main antagonist of the film, so put in Malekith. A lot of potential there. I wouldn't expect them to make this set too large either. It would definitely be a scaled down version of a Dark Elf ship. And, that's just fine. That's actually what I honestly prefer. But, honestly, I don't find it too likely. Thor the Dark World is not very popular of a film, but, still something cool that just I personally wish I had. All right, coming in at number 9, we're actually going back to the Guardians of the Galaxy films yet again. I have the Milano spaceship. Now, personally, I don't really want this set too much, but I've noticed actually a lot of people are just so in love with this new large-scaled Guardians ship that we got this year. And people are saying what would be even more popular than that would be the actual Milano Guardians ship. And if it was done to the same scale, yes, they could fit in so many great details. And I'm sure the model would be great. I just personally don't have any interest because I already have both of the previous versions of the Milano spaceship. I think that it would be overdoing the amount of iterations they've done, but it is a pretty popular vehicle out of the Marvel Universe specifically, so it would also make sense. And finally, at number 10, one of my personal favorite inclusions in this list, we have Avengers or Stark Tower. And this could be done in a similar scale to the Daily Bugle that was released this year. This has also, I've seen, been requested by quite a few people. Seems like a popular choice if they were to make another $300 scaled skyscraper Lego set out of Marvel. And yeah, why not have Stark Tower? And it could be Stark Tower or it could be Avengers Tower. Personally, I don't really have a preference. I do think it would be particularly cool if they had a swappable sign so that you actually have the option to make it either Stark or Avengers Tower. And yeah, there's so much potential. They could mainly focus on 2012 Avengers and then just have all of those Avengers figures with Loki and a bunch of Chitauri soldiers, usual stuff there. Or they could also even merge films and include Age of Ultron stuff as well. Why not? Yeah, I think that would definitely be really awesome. That would certainly be probably equally as popular as the Daily Bugle was this year. So there you have it. That is my list of the top 10 likely and most wanted Infinity Saga sets for next year. If we even get a Wave 2, we have to see what actually ends up happening. But I think, again, just the idea of this sub-theme of Marvel is actually pretty unique and pretty fun and interesting. So that's why it's fun to speculate what we might get in the future. So I hope you all enjoyed. I'd love to hear what you guys may want down in the comments below. That all being said, thank you very much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for plenty more videos coming real soon. Bye-bye.